How do you find a Mark Jeweler variant? What is a Mark Jeweler variant? I'm your host, Comic Tom. Let's talk bags and boards. Take a look at this comic book. This is not a key book. It's actually rather common. But this comic book is anything but common. This is actually an example of one of the first variants in comic book history. Centerfold of the book, you will see a 2-page front and back ad, only placed in particular issues of Marvel, DC, and Dell Comics for a jewelry company, Mark Jewelers. Spotting this ad without physically opening the comic to check can be tricky, but with a well-trained eye, you can spot a colorful center from the top in these books indicating they are indeed special. What makes these comics unique, aside from their additional ad, is their history, or lack thereof. Due to the rise of comic fandom in military personnel in the early 70s, Mark Jewelers saw a marketing opportunity to target young men in the military. By purchasing ad room in comic books that would be sold near and on military bases and installations, Mark Jewelers started a collecting craze that has only truly surfaced in the last decade. Their ads primarily focused on selling wedding and high school graduation rings at affordable prices. Thinking the GIs would buy cheap jewelry since they were being paid very little and had to deal with the stressors of holding on to loved ones over long distances. What better potential client than a newlywed missing his wife, or someone who's fresh from school whose pride is tied to the classroom and halls they recently graduated? This ad ran in comic books starting in April 1971 till about mid-1991. The ad was on a heavy cardstock most of these years, but given they were sold all over the world and sold to a target audience who mostly read the comics, most of these comics remain hidden in collections, waiting to be hunted, waiting to be found. Now, there were second printings being made of comics in this era, and many consider those as variants. But until this point, we do not see as big of a difference as an added centerfold to an issue. Can this be considered a variant? Is this the first real variant? The opinion on this is split, but when you follow the money and see the sales, the market has clearly ruled yes. As of the date of this filming, we're seeing prices for higher grade common comics, this is important, selling for as much as 20% above guide. This doesn't sound like much, but when you're discussing books that can be found in the dollar bin that typically guide for around $10, actually selling and selling for 20 plus, this is a big deal. There is no census on the variants either. So not only are collectors now hunting for particular issues that are known to have the variant, there is a subcategory of collectors who are hunting for issues that are not even known to have an ad. A hunt that may never end. When we look at the key comic market, the price hike is largely inconsistent due to scarcity. Although the inflation is clearly there, depending on the key event in the book, grade, and current availability online. Keep in mind, eBay only shows the last few months of item sales. Collectors have begun treating the price negotiations similar to a comic grading above a 9.8, completely speculative, and priced to sell to a very niche collector. Some keys sell for 30% above guide, others for as much as 50 to 80%. The important thing when it comes to value is how much the book actually means to you. I have paid an absurd amounts of money for a Hellboy or a controversial book. Hell, I've spent stupid money on books I have multiple copies of. Also, in my time of collecting, I have met a handful of collectors who seek out variants just like this in particular. However, what is common among all of them is that what becomes secondary to the decision of purchase is the particular title with the variant. Many hunt only for Batman Mark Jeweler variants, others only Avengers, etc. What this shows is sentimental value over particular heroes, not the goal of owning every variant that exists for cash value. And isn't that what collecting art is really about? Thank you for watching. I appreciate your time. I'm your host, Comic Tom, and please geek responsibly. Enough said. Do you collect variants? What's your favorite one? Put your answer in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you want to see more comic content like this, subscribe.